In the year 2099, the Demon Lord comes back to leave his mark on Shinjuku, the city that represents the highest level of human progress. He comes back to this new world after being gone for hundreds of years, with even bigger plans and more freedom to do what he wants. Our episode today begins with Makina, who has been captured by the villain Marcus. He tells her that he kidnapped her to reunite with an old friend, referring to Viltor. Makina gets extremely angry and curses him for being a traitor. Marcus tells her it's pointless to argue, as they are now in the heart of Shinjuku, specifically beneath the Ether Reactor, a ritual magic facility known as the Eternal Furnace. This is a program that uses the souls of those called the Immortals as fuel to generate ether. The ether produced by this immortal art is then transferred to the Ether Reactor, where it is converted into electricity and magical energy to power the entire city. Makina becomes even angrier and accuses him of using Oranridum Balmak as firewood for that stupid generator. Marcus confirms that he did, and that they made excellent fuel, especially when they were in their last moments. Makina becomes even more furious, and she releases an enormous surge of energy, but Marcus erects a barrier to block her powerful strike. He then begins to explain the Eternal Furnace, saying that the bodies of the so-called immortals don't die, so he throws them into the furnace to burn and generate both electricity and vast amounts of energy. He then asks if she remembers Zenal, the Duke of the Last Judgment, as he was the first person to be used as fuel for the furnace. He recounts how Zenal suffered immense pain, his body burning as his soul was consumed in the flames until it was extinguished. The Duke's screams were unbearable, making it impossible to imagine the agony he endured. Makina vows to kill Marcus for his heartlessness. Marcus tells her to calm down, as it's her turn now. He says that it's time for her to become the foundation of the city, meaning he intends to use her as fuel for the furnace. He explains that he came to personally abduct her because many people are unaware of the Ether Furnace, and to keep the secret and ensure no one discovers it, he had to take her himself. He also reveals that the current fuel is running out, making this the perfect time for her to be used. The scene shifts to Kainahara, who faces the Demon Lord and Graham. Kainahara recognizes him as Graham, which surprises him, but she tells him that she knows him well. There are records about him in the database, the ageless hero who performed excellently during the Second War. She adds that with them here together, it seems they've teamed up, which is quite interesting. Graham tells Viltor that he has warned him not to engage with this foolish woman. However, Viltor tells him to be serious, as her swordsmanship may rival Zenal's. Graham then draws his giant sword, and the battle begins. But Kanehara is incredibly fast. Viltor attempts to retreat inside, while Graham blocks Kanehara's path to prevent her from reaching him. Viltor jumps down as Kanehara taunts them, calling them fools, stating that their time has passed long ago and they cannot defeat her. She unleashes a massive power called Zero Bis, striking with tremendous force, destroying the wall. However, due to Graham's incredible intelligence, he uses his sword as a shield to block the attack. Kinihara then enters her Majino form as she prepares for the next move. This is a prototype of the next generation Majino gear, currently under development by their company Zerobis. By adapting the weapon summoning system, they have made it possible for the user to summon and equip the weapon instantly via a trigger. Graham realizes this is a 5th generation model, and Kinihara explains that the 4th generation Majino gear is the one primarily being produced. However, with the 5th generation model, Zerobis succeeded in making it smaller and lighter than its predecessor, while greatly improving its output. Additionally, it achieves better energy efficiency, making it a true innovation in the industry, and this machine will be the gateway to a new generation of technology. But unlike the 4th generation model, the only downside to this one is that its operational time heavily relies on the user's magic reserves, although this issue will certainly be solved in the future. Kainahara then charges at Graham, saying that he represents valuable test data for Zerobis, and he should feel honored. Graham asks her to be quiet, as she talks too much like her leader. She throws him aside and remarks that both he and his weapon are outdated, even his family's model is very old. Everything about it is obsolete, while she possesses the most advanced machinery and practices the latest training techniques. Graham responds as they fight, saying that battles are not won by the age or quality of equipment. Either a person wins or loses. Kainahara then uses her magic to strike him, but Graham, with his keen instincts, is able to block her attacks. Despite this, he can't find an opening to strike. This development is terrifying to him, and he is glad he didn't face this during the city wars. He tells her that her regular attacks aren't as fast because her magic only activates when she fully draws her sword. She responds that this is her magic, it's the lightning draw, and discovering this doesn't mean he has a chance to win. Her victory is already determined, as she has the 5th generation Majino gear and the rapid lightning draw spells. The difference in their combat capabilities is very clear. Kinahara, frustrated with his words, declares that they need to end this fight and attacks him with all her might. They engage in a fierce battle, but she can't land a hit. Graham is used to this, as many have failed to hit him due to his elusiveness, but Kinahara doesn't give up and continues to crush. But another spell he casts isn't enough to stop Sorobis. He then uses a powerful spell, the Fireball, which helps him wear down Kinahara, although it can't break her shield. The tactic seems to be working, as this combination of attacks was used against darkness 500 years ago, and it appears to still be effective against someone with her modern training. Kinahara grows angry and tells him not to underestimate her. She attempts to strike again but cannot defeat him. Graham replies that if all she's doing was enough to beat him, he wouldn't deserve the title of hero. Kinahara vows not to lose to him. Kinahara, furious, shouts, "It's impossible for me to lose to you and this rusty sword." Graham responds, "So this is how you see my sword." He adds, "There are people who need a hero, and this sword will retain its brilliance," as the sword changes shape, emitting a powerful beam of light. Graham declares, "This is my ultimate attack, the one that destroyed the Demon Lord. Remember this well and witness the light of this never-setting sun." He charges at her with full force, and Kinahara falls to the ground. Graham continues, "Even though you allowed me to unleash it after a long time, it still has its limits. Only one strike. But it's spectacular. Your shield is the latest Magnitzo gear. If my attack wasn't as strong as when I defeated the Demon Lord, I'm surprised it didn't kill you. You should probably ask why I won, instead of focusing on why you lost. You can't ignore my 500 years of experience." Kinahara responds, "I thought you'd be going to Marcus. He'll be fine without my joining him. Your Demon Lord can't win. Marcus is far stronger than me. He couldn't even dream of standing against him." "The Demon Lord couldn't defeat me in a direct fight." Graham laughs and says, "I thought you were a smart woman, but you're talking nonsense. I'm the only one who knows my ace in the hole. I'm sure Marcus doesn't know. Anyone watching this will drown in despair. That man is strong, I assure you. Is the man who defeated you." Kinahara asks, "Aren't you going to kill me?" Graham replies, "I don't have any real reason to kill you. You no longer have the strength to fight me, so I don't need to kill you. You fought me and survived thanks to your skill. My role is to prevent people like you from getting close to Viltal. He'll handle the rest himself." Suddenly, an attack hits from all directions, and Graham uses a barrier to protect them. Monsters descend upon them, and Graham says, "It seems that attack would have hit both of us." He moves toward them and adds, "I think it's time to do another heroic deed and help people." Meanwhile, the scene shifts to Marcus, who speaks to Makina, saying, "Let's end our long conversation here. I just want to throw you into the eternal furnace, and it will automatically begin burning your soul to fuel this city. Perhaps your soul will burn even brighter than the rest, since you're wealthy. Soon, all immortals will be gone, and I'll become the true demon lord of this world. It's time to say goodbye." He throws her from above, and she remembers Viltal, who saves her, saying, "You have an unfortunate habit of giving up too quickly." He apologizes and says, "I've come to rescue you." Thus, today's episode of the anime ends, with a reminder for viewers to stay tuned for the upcoming episodes, and don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell for all new updates.